The title of the room is What Has the Democratic Party Done for America? Feel free to come grab a mic. I hear people say a lot, vote blue no matter who. What has that gotten us? Why should people continue to vote blue no matter who? Democrats are starting to pop out again. We're getting to like pre-election season. They are starting to push out certain agendas to sway certain votes. I've seen them start to galvanize to try to get the Black American vote back. But I want to have a real honest conversation about what has the Democratic Party done for America. If you want to come up and grab a mic, even talking about the Republican Party, I don't mind. But why should, as Americans, we continue to vote blue no matter who? What has the Democratic Party done for America? Ooh. Oh, TikTok. I've heard a lot of talk about people saying that the Democratic Party neglects Americans that have already been here, that they only focus on newer Americans and making sure their transition is easier. But feel free to grab a mic. Let me know how you feel when it comes to the Democratic Party. I really want to make sure we stand on business with the Democratic Party as not just Black Americans, all Americans, Black Americans in specifics, because I feel like they keep taking our initiatives and the things that we want and toying it in our face, but not actually doing action about it, not actually producing what it is we want them to produce. So they'll use topics like reparations to get us to think that, like, oh, they're about to do something for us. But all we end up getting is like a study. And now we have a million studies, but no actionable items. And then even when it comes down to actually proposals, they veto the proposals, just like Gavin Newsom in California. So he was kind enough for the study and used it to galvanize the Black American vote. But when it was time to actually create actionable items and actually put it into fruition, he vetoed the bills. And so I want to have a real conversation about what are our expectations for the Democratic Party, and what we from the video that I just posted in the research that I've seen, they're paying attention. They're paying attention to what we're asking from them. They're using it in their talking points when they have speeches. But for me, I just personally haven't seen any. Okay, come grab a mic. ACA, New Deal, TVA, War on Poverty. Come grab a mic. I need examples. I need to let's break this down. Brockworth?
Yes, Brockwurst.
Okay. All right, let me know. Go ahead.
So what has the Democratic Party done for America? Well, the Affordable Care Act, the Respect for Marriage Act, the War on Poverty, the TVA, the New Deal. All of those are things that I mentioned, and all of those things has made life in America better for the American people and American citizens. They've expanded liberty. They have improved the living standards. Um, and so those are benefits of the Democratic Party, and those are the fruits of the Democratic Party. Am I saying the Democratic Party is perfect? No. But I am saying that they have provided a great deal of benefits to the American people, particularly when you consider the fact that this is politics, and in politics you are competing for power, and that your opponents are the Republican Party. And the Republican Party has done some great things too, I won't deny that. But you can't say that the Democrats have done nothing for America.
Okay, thank you so much. Not saying that they haven't done anything, but just want to have honest conversation.
Well, what do you think of the ACA?
Can you explain to me what is the ACA?
The Affordable Care Act.
Okay. Yes, I think that is very beneficial. Shout out to Barack Obama.
And the Respect for Marriage Act.
Is that what they use to legalize equal marriages?
Well, that's not what legalized it. It congressionally mandated it. What legalized it was Obergefell, which was, you could say actually, if you wanted to include Supreme Court rulings that were a result of a Democratic White House, then I could. The Respect for Marriage Act was passed during the Biden administration, and it is a reaffirmment of the legalization of same-sex marriage. It makes it so that the Supreme Court can't repeal it.
Okay.
So those are two examples. Just within the past 15 years of things that the Democratic Party has done for the United States.
Okay. So the Affordable Care Act, I would definitely say that that is beneficial to all Americans. And then the Respectable Marriage Act,
Respect for.
Respect for Marriage Act. I think that is beneficial to a niche group of Americans, but I definitely do see that it is beneficial. So do you think that based off of what the Democratic Party has done in the last 15 years, that we should continue to vote blue no matter who?
I think, yes, I think every American should vote blue no matter who. Now, if you speak of the issues of Black Americans as a race, you could say that from a identitarian standpoint, we're in a weaker position because we're not swing voters compared to Latinos, though one could also say that Latinos get more lip service from Republicans, but they don't get a particular amount of benefits. They just get more attention because Republicans attempt to reach them for votes. I think that as Black Americans, though, we more or less know which side of the bread, we more or less know which side our bread is buttered on. And that's why you see such dogged loyalty to the Democratic Party among us. I think that every American should vote blue no matter who, because I oppose the Republican Party post-Trump. I believe that the Republican Party, particularly under Trump, must be punished. It must be basically whipped into submission by the electorate in order to punish it for what I see as a disrespect for the Constitution, a disrespect for law,
Democrats
disrespect.
haven't been done pissed. Everybody used to be Republican. Republicans used to run this country and shit. Now look at the Democrats.
Sure, they did. What's your point? I wouldn't say everyone used to be Republican.
Nobody likes them anymore. We don't like Demofags. We don't like immigrants. We don't like nothing like that, all right?
I don't really know what your point was.
All right, Demofag?
No. I don't really know what your point is. You're just sort of ranting.
At least.
So I would say that the Republican Party, in my opinion, has declined in terms of what I see as beneficial. I think the
You
Republican
you
Party's
don't know what the fuck
strong
you're talking
suit.
about, bro. Everybody used to
Excuse
be
me.
Republican, not Democrat, bro.
Okay, hold on,
What do
Big
you mean?
Lock. Big Lock,
What do you
can
mean
you
everybody?
Big Lock,
Bro,
can you expand
are you
on why you
stupid?
think that the Republican Party is a better party than the Democratic Party?
It's been better since the fucking beginning of it.
So what have they done for America over what the Democratic Party has done for America?
The Republicans actually do shit for America, and we don't do shit for other countries like the Democrats.
Well, actually, I think that the Republican Party for decades actually had something quite easily above the Democratic Party, and that was their foreign policy. The Republican Party used to understand the need for.
Then why did Democrats love them immigrants and we don't?
I will say that I've looked into the
Reagan gave
foreign.
amnesty.
Sorry, I've looked into the not foreign exchange. What is it? The foreign assistance, pretty much the amount of money that we've sent out.
Foreign aid.
Foreign aid. Thank you so much. I looked over the numbers for the foreign aid, and it is on my account if anybody wants to check it out. So during Biden's administration, we've sent billions of dollars in foreign aid out of the country. And then since Trump has been in this election, his term recently, he has lowered that number to where it's only a couple 100,000 that even get sent out. And so when it comes, I'm siding on Big Lock when it comes to as far as paying attention to America. It seems like the Democratic Party has been focusing for long periods of time of making sure that other countries are good and sending
Mexico,
out foreign
Colombia.
aid.
Well,
It was mostly
here's what's interesting.
Africa, Ukraine, and paying for
Well,
their
I
education.
want Ukraine to nuke Russia. I would like Ukraine to be able
we
to
should
kill
just stay out
millions
that.
of Russians.
Fuck Ukraine and fuck Russia. Fuck them both.
I'm not pro us them using American dollars to fund other countries.
Well, they're not
for
using
their
American dollars. We're using
education.
American arms.
American
No,
weapons.
they're
and
using
all
And
American
American
I
shit.
believe in American
billions
empire.
of
I think that I'm the only
dollars.
person who believes in American global power and global prestige. You want America to be some small,
America's
sniveling,
been an empire, whether you believe it or
weak
not.
power. And that's a good
What?
thing. That's a good thing, my boy.
No, I don't want America to be everybody's babysitter.
America
That's a
is an
good thing.
empire. America isn't everybody's babysitter. America has private capital interest in foreign nations around the world. The U.S. military's
absolutely do.
objective is to protect trade routes and to protect America's private capital investments in regions like Vietnam, North Korea, South Korea.
We don't have many interests in North Korea, but I agree.
Oh,
Yes,
yes, you
America
do.
should protect its interests in those countries. Hence why I rather dislike the idea of a powerful Russia, and I think that we should do what we can to weaken and stall the growth of China.
America has done tremendous
Wait.
job to
Adi
weaken
Jola,
Russia.
you from Nigeria?
Yes, sir.
What do you think about the genocide that's going on
Nigerian.
with Christians in Nigeria?
There's no genocide going
There's
against
200,000
in
Christians
Nigeria.
dead in the past 5 years in Nigeria.
He's
It's
Boko
been-
Haram. Don't worry, Big Lock. Don't worry about him. He's a member of Boko Haram.
I'm not Boko Haram. They've killed more Muslims than they've killed Christians.
He's a member of Boko
Then why are they
Haram.
talking about
He's
the
a
Christians only?
I
he
don't
has a
know.
child bride.
Bias.
Why are you guys even doing that?
I live in Southwest Nigeria. I don't live in the north.
Oh,
I'm Yoruba. I don't live in northern Nigeria.
well, have you seen
He's
like?
Yoruba. Oh, so he was just part of the pogroms against the
Do you see
Igbo
like
then.
Christian people daily,
Huh?
or like white people?
What?
Do you see like white people daily when you walk around?
Yeah,
Christians in
motherfucker,
Nigeria
I
aren't
live
white,
in
Big Lock.
Lagos
Don't be
State,
retarded.
Nigeria. There's
Alright.
white
The Christians
people
in
all over
Nigeria aren't white,
Nigeria.
Big Lock. Don't be retarded.
There are white people
Bro,
all
there's
over
white
West
people in
Africa.
Nigeria, bro.
Yeah,
The
it's
Christians in
white
Nigeria
pe-
aren't
white
white.
people
I'm not
have
saying
started-
all
They're
Christians
Igbo.
are white, but I'm just
people
wondering
named
if there's white people in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Before Nigeria got its independence in 1961, the governor of the Nigeria British Protectorate was a white man named Lingard. I mean, white people have always been in Nigeria since it's founded. White people founded Nigeria.
Nah.
Yeah,
White people name Nigeria.
yeah, white people literally founded Nigeria. There was no
When was
Nigeria
Nigeria
until the
founded?
British Empire. 19, well,
Oh.
18, was it 18? When did they mesh all this shit together? Probably the
Let's Google
1800s.
it. I don't know.
Hey, but y'all had
Probably like
50,000 years in
18,
this, though.
19, I want to say. 18, 19.
Y'all had 50,000 years on us, man.
prior you had the Sokoto, you had in northern Nigeria.
The host has allowed this to drift quite a bit.
Yeah, you had the Sokoto Caliphate. You had Yoruba man,
you're not a particularly
Igbo
good host.
Empire, and they merged it into Nigeria. So that the
So I
British.
have a question, Jola. How do you feel about Trump cutting the funding for foreign aid to Nigeria over the past 2 years?
Good job. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
That's good.
Because he's a Chinese asset, or he's a member of Boko Haram.
Chinese asset. We've done some business with the Chinese. They've built.
No.
They've built some ports in Nigeria.
Nigeria isn't a Chinese asset. You're a Chinese asset.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay,
Kind of.
red
Possibly.
dot.
Or you're a member of Boko Haram.
I'm Yoruba, bro.
Hello,
I live
how
in
are you?
southern Nigeria.
How are you?
Hi.
Okay, then you're an
Are you in the, hold
anti-Igbo
on, y'all.
partisan.
Brock Big Lock. Give me a second.
My girlfriend's
Red
Igbo.
dot.
That's
Are
interesting.
you in the United States?
Who, me?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, so yeah, I know. Can you mute your mic? I don't mind you staying on the stage, but I just want to introduce new people into the conversation. So, Red Dot, what do you have for the title of the room? What has the Democratic Party done for America?
Okay, well, I believe both parties are the same. You know, they serve the rich elite. And secondarily, I also believe that there should be more parties than these two parties. You know, they do the same thing every year. It doesn't matter if it's Barack, Clinton, Bush, Trump. They do the exact same thing. They come into office, they make all these promises, they come into office, they have wars, they do the exact same. Every last one of them do the exact same thing. These parties, they're almost like useless. So I'm not
Saying
gonna
both parties are the same as low IQ slopulism.
Oh, here we go. A white person talking about low IQ. I knew that was gonna come up.
He's a poor white
I'm not
person.
I know that was gonna come up.
Not
He's
white.
a poor
you
white
know.
person.
You're showing your low IQ. That's the only thing you can say.
You say, oh, the both parties are the
Why-
same.
oh,
When it's
low
very
IQ,
obvious
a
both
low
parties
Yo,
are
Red
not.
Dot,
the
what does
one with
IQ
low
stand
IQ
for?
that need racism to help
Red
you
Dot.
out.
Red Dot.
Racism is
Red
a
Dot.
tool for low IQ. You
Come
can't
on,
go
Red
Red Dot.
Dot.
Don't go
without
postal
racism,
on me.
right?
Don't go postal
You're
on me, Red
the
Dot.
low IQ.
Calm down,
Don't
Red
go
Dot,
postal
man.
on me.
What did he just say? He said an insulting comment, right?
I
You're not
did. I
Native
did make an
American, so
And
insulting
I'm
change your
going
comment.
name.
postal.
Can I
He
can I
said
can I
an
ask a
insulting comment,
question?
and I'm going postal, right?
Yeah, please don't go postal on me, Red
Yeah.
Dot.
Can I ask a
Oh,
question
yeah.
though? To think about this, right? When Donald Trump was in New York,
postal.
like Donald Trump,
Yeah, don't go postal. Don't
when
shoot.
you look
Red
at
Dot,
Donald
shut up.
Trump,
Okay,
right?
Post
hold
office,
on,
don't
y'all.
shoot up
Hold
a school.
on.
Shut
Can we
up,
have
shut the hell up.
decorum? Can we have decorum?
It's Red Dot.
But this is an interesting thing that God said though, because if you look at Trump, in order to get his real estate business beyond what his father did, he was a big time donor, big time supporter of the Democratic Party in New York, because that's where the Democratic
They're all the same.
Party had held power. And also when you look at his in-laws, the Kushners, they've been a part of both the Democratic and Republican Party. Kushner's father was real good friends with Bill Clinton, the donor to Bill Clinton, and now he's a part of a major Republican administration. You know, a lot of there are even Hillary Clinton. I think Hillary Clinton was I think she's from Illinois, so I want to say she was a Republican in college, and then Republican until she went to college and switched to Democrat. So the parties do have some duality, but you know, for the most part, they kind of serve the same, you know, corporate interests, lobby interests, and a lot of it is regional. You know, but both parties are in essence, to me, in my opinion, in power at the same time. There is no Republican Party without the Democratic Party. To pass any bill, you have to have bipartisan support. There is really no such thing as a quote unquote
Have you ever lived in
Republican
America?
or Democrat bill. Maybe a Republican can sponsor a bill, or primarily Democrats, but to get anything done in America, both parties kind of have to agree. So,
They're the
I
Yo, have
think,
you ever lived in America?
yeah, I went to college in America.
Red Dot, do you vote blue no matter who?
Listen, I don't vote anything unless they're gonna do something, and neither party's gonna do anything. That's why I don't even vote for either party.
Well, they do a lot. I'm not gonna say they don't do nothing. They do a
They
lot.
do a lot of bullshit.
I mean,
Starting wars.
it depends
Yeah.
on your interests. There's people who make there are a lot of people in America who are employed because of wars are started. If you work for a helicopter manufacturing company and you're a laborer, or if
Like
you're
I
an
said, they
engineer
serve these
at
rich, they
Raytheon
serve these rich
or
multinational
Austal,
corporations, the
yeah, but a
weapons
lot of
industry.
ordinary American
Yeah,
citizens work there. A lot of people pay their kids tuition working at these, evil multinational
they
corporations.
don't make that much. The average person that work in these companies, they don't make that much. It's the
But
companies that
but
make
if those companies
Halliburton,
weren't there, what
Halliburton,
would
and all
they
those
make?
other weapons manufacturers.
Yeah,
They the one that make the real money. The people going
yeah.
there to Halliburton, what they make? What, $15 an hour, $20 an hour? Whoop de
Yeah.
doo.
But what would they do if that wasn't there?
What? Okay, first of all, they wouldn't inspire these companies to start. They start these wars just to make weapons.
Yeah, and those weapons employ people. To make a weapon,
They
you
will
have
work
to have
somewhere
laborers.
else. They will work somewhere else.
No,
So you're saying
man,
it's
they'd probably be
justifiable
unemployed.
to have these wars,
No,
to make these weapons, right?
no. I'm not
To
saying it's
go kill
justifiable.
people.
I'm talking about reality. The world we live in is not ruled by morals. Obviously, that's
So
a moral
they
argument.
make that okay. So they're coming to office, giving people these $15 an hour job, right?
Hmm.
And oh, they're doing something. They're doing absolutely nothing.
Well, they're enriching themselves,
Thank you. I agree
so they're
with you with
doing
that one.
something. They're doing something.
I agree with
It
you
may
with that
not
one.
benefit you, but they're doing something.
Yeah,
So
they're
I
benefiting for the
understand. I
rich
get
elite,
the
rich elite.
effects of not being able to see your vote count, right, or feel like you have power when it comes to a federal level as far as the elections, but I feel like that should not stop you from voting on your local levels, whether you vote Democrat or Republican. And so, do
But
you
you know the
vote on a
definition
local
of
level?
insanity?
Yeah.
Doing something over and over again, expecting a change. You're insane if you do that.
I mean, you could
You vote
vote.
for a Republican, you vote for a Democrat, nothing changes. You're insane.
Well,
That's the
You're
definition of
supposed
insanity.
to be
Doing the
paying
same thing
attention to the
over again.
policies in which they run on.
They
And
have
so,
the same
even when it comes
policies.
when
pretty
it comes
much.
to your local mayor, when it comes to your
But
governors, when it comes to your state representatives,
I was I would say
you're
this.
supposed to be paying attention. Okay, let's say Party is focusing on education, and focusing on childcare, welfare. You should be voting based on the policies in which
But
you
but this is
see
the
and you
most
know that they're going
interesting
to
thing,
benefit
though.
you.
But this is the most
They
interesting
have
thing,
the
though. The
same
Democrats
policies.
work with the Republicans to
They're the
strip
same.
welfare. It was Bill
That's what you
Clinton
don't get.
and Newt Gingrich's Republican-led Congress that stripped all of those type of bills for like lower working class people. That's
N-
like, and in most local, from what I observed, I tell a lot of people from Nigeria, I say, if you think Nigeria is corrupt, don't go to America. If you don't like corruption, do not go to America. If you're crying about this little minor stuff here, don't go to the United States, because most of your local elections are controlled by the same families in America that's been there for hundreds of years. It's like the same, whether it's Democrat or Republican, it'd be the same entrenched families. And
I,
it doesn't change.
okay, I get the conspiracy of it
It's
all,
not a
right?
conspiracy.
Because no, listen, I do think that we get involved in the semantics because we want the people who are running our government together in tandem to be against each other in some way, shape, or form, when
I
that's
don't
not
think they really
reality.
are.
They can play on separate teams or focus on separate policies, but they both have to work on a common consensus.
They do.
Like we should want them to have some type of unity. We should not want them to always be fighting that we will never get anything done for our country. And so while I understand people subconsciously want them to be on separate teams, because as American people, we let these Democratic parties divide us into separate teams. We should not want our government to be fighting over blue and red. We want them to work together so that we can actually get bills passed, because we need votes on both sides in order to get things passed and policies pushed forward. Like, I understand. Okay, so even when it comes to mass deportation and the change of birthright citizenship, that this policy change or this Constitution amendment was initiated originally by Barack Obama's administration. It's just that Trump has picked it up and used it as his running campaign to push it forward, right? And so even though we're angry at Trump, we do
I'm not
have to
angry with
understand
Trump.
that there are people who are angry at Trump because he chose to run on these policies.
Hmm.
But although that is happening, we do acknowledge that he didn't start the fight, right?
Of course, it's a bipartisan bill. Of course.
But in order for for change to happen, they both have to work together in some
That's
way,
what
shape, or form.
bipartisan. That's what bipartisan is, when both parties come together to pass a bill.
Can
That's
I
what I
say
said.
something?
Go ahead.
See, if you buy into the system, right, and you vote Democrat or Republican, nothing will change, right? It's every year. If you notice a pattern, right, it will be like they'll vote for a Republican president, right, a couple of years, then they'll vote for a Democratic president a couple of years. It goes back and forth. You don't see the game in that?
Yes. And I
You
think
know,
that it
exactly.
creates
So
a
the
balance
only
in order to push certain policies. Like you guys, okay.
no, there's no
Imagine how people
balance.
would feel if Biden, the person who is known for pushing out foreign aid, is the same person that is pushing mass deportation. It would not fit for him. We would have needed a Republican president in order to execute mass deportation. It works. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we have to get
Didn't
out of the
Obama
conspiracy
deport more
of it
people than
all
Bush?
and look how it's actually helping the process of America.
I don't. What do you mean by mass deportation? I think that's a bipartisan thing. I think both parties support mass deportation of certain groups.
I know, but for a front-facing president, I don't, as an American, I don't think American people would take that in or be able to ingest watching Barack Obama or Joe Biden push mass
He
deportation.
did.
It would have had to be someone like Donald Trump to be the one who
But
pushes that policy forward.
but Obama did. Obama deported far more people than George W.
Yeah, but
Obama
most people
deported the
don't know
most
about it.
people.
Obama's known for the Affordable Care Act.
which was a Republican bill initially. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. No,
Exactly,
he
which
did
is
it.
why he has
He
to be the
deported the
front
most. He
face
was the
of the
president. He's the
Affordable Care
president that deported the
Act.
most people.
Who,
Right?
Obama?
But he's the president that deported the most people. Right? Obama
yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
why
correct.
I said it's a game. They play a game with you, and you play it. You play it with them. They're the
I
same.
mean, some people don't really have a choice. I'm not saying the average person is playing the game with them. A lot of people just don't know. Everybody doesn't know what you know. Everybody has to grow at their own time. The average person in any country is just trying to survive, man. They're just trying to feed their children. They're trying to work. They don't really have the time or the affordability to really understand politics, maybe at the level that you understand
That's
it.
not true. Because I live the average person life. I go to work. I have kids. You know, but I you can understand politics at the same time. I live
Some
an average
people
person's
don't.
life. I work
But
8 hours a day.
listen, the average person thinks what you're saying is a conspiracy theory.
True.
So you have to. Most people aren't on that
That's because they don't
level.
understand politics. Correct. They're not on that level, but you can get on
Absolutely,
this
most
level.
agree.
people are not on
You
that
can
level. Most
get
people
on
are
this
just
level.
forward facing, right? Most people want the Democrats to be the good guys and want the Republicans to be the bad guys.
There's nothing you can do to change that.
America, the government wants most people just like that, ignorant and don't understand what's going on. That's what they like. And just keep voting Democrat, Republican over and over again, rinse and repeat.
Yeah. It's smart.
So America has most people just where they want them.
Of course it does.
Absolutely.
And somebody like me talks, oh, that's conspiracy.
I don't think you're conspiracy.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just responding to what she said.
No, I mean, but that is the truth.
It is the truth. You're absolutely right. Because
And so I feel like
they
with
are
that
ignorant
understanding, sometimes
to
we do have to
politics.
step back from this idea that both the parties are working against us and look at it for a way of we can make the parties work for us.
But that's all we've been
You
doing,
can,
stepping back.
you definitely
We've been
can make
stepping
the
back the
parties
whole
work,
time.
but you got to have a
The
massive
only way
amount
you
of
can
capital
make
to
the
do that.
parties work is not buying into them.
No, I disagree.
And then they'll be
I
like,
disagree
uh-oh,
with
the
that.
people.
I disagree with that.
No, you can't change these parties.
Oh,
They've
yes,
been
you can.
corrupted for decades.
No,
and
no.
decades.
Listen, and this is gonna sound crazy.
You can't fix
if
these
the
parties.
average, if working class people work together and pull their resources together, and I don't care if you pick either party and say, hey, you're able to create a super PAC and you pay these Democrats or you pay these Republicans, they'll do what you say.
No,
Because there's enough money
you
amongst
know how much
the
money they
working class
have.
people in America. You probably could swing some local elections, but I don't think people are not going to work like that.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Summer. You know, is it Summer? Summer's good.
Yes,
What
how
do you
y'all
have for the
doing?
topic in the conversation?
What has Democrat Party done for America?
I can't really hear you. You're kind of muffled on your mic.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm an independent, by the way, so for me starting out, I'm just gonna say that I'm not clinging to none party, but as I was growing, I think Democrats have not done devastated the BLK community with one huge blow in my lifetime that I didn't realize that was going on during that time. I really thought Bill Clinton was down for the people. I mean, in fact, it was like he and Hill played saxophone, but the blow that he
He
did
had
to
hoes
the
in the White
BLK,
House too. He had
yeah,
hoes in the White House
and
too.
yeah, he was a pimp or whatever, player or whatever you want to call him. And he devastated the BLK community by doing the mass incarceration. And to this day, it's still people right now still locked up on some bull crap. In fact, one of my family members is 3 strike or obituary. That was devastating to the BLK. We still haven't recovered from it. So yeah, Democrats have done nothing. They the type of people stick their hand out like they're trying to help you and then stab you in your back. That's how I look at them.
Okay.
That's my answer to the problem.
Thank you for your submission. I'm gonna get some more people in the conversation. Feel free to stay on the stage. I'm gonna go NFL Crow. What do you have for the topic?
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm good.
Right on. The Democratic Party hasn't really done anything but mislead the youth, and I mean they done well economically, but as far as, for example, when Barack Obama got into office, and this is another thing I wanted to put out there, our votes don't really matter. Like, a lot of people think that our votes matter, but it's already predetermined. The NWO, or the New World Order, is who selects our representative for our country. So whenever Barack Obama came in, it was a plan to make sure that the alphabet community can excel. And a lot of people wasn't really peeping that. The NWO, these guys from the 80s. I was actually born in 2002, jackass, since you feel like you know everything. But
Just stay, keep it
Cordial.
P. Yeah.
my fault. I apologize.
I was being a little bit of an
Here
asshole.
comes the
First one.
conspiracy theories. Well, y'all
But,
can
like, could I ask
Land
a
your
question?
plane so that we can go on to the next person. Hold on, Borgelli. You have some people ahead of you that are going to speak. After you land your plane, NFL, we're going to go J3484 OI, and then we're going to go to you, Borgelli. Go ahead.
That's a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna just ignore the comments. Basically what I'm saying is the Democratic Party hasn't really done anything but mislead and misguide everybody through the media, through your phones. It's easy to get in contact with your family. So a lot of people haven't really seen their family. A lot of people haven't really checked on their family or tried to help each other out. It's easier to. The Democratic Party made it easier to oppress my people.
There's always something. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just land it there. I don't want any more
Oh man.
confusion.
Hold on, y'all. So thank you, NFL. Sorry for you getting
Yes,
interrupted.
nah, it's cool.
But oh my God, I just lost him and removed him. We're in these TikTok live. How the helly?
I think the thing is when I requested, I instantly got into the live, and he's probably instantly getting into the live.
Yeah, but when you block them, they're supposed to not be able to come into your live anymore.
What? That's weird.
And once you remove them, they're supposed to be not being able to come back on the stage. I don't know what's the glitch right now. Okay, so we're gonna go to J3484. Oh hell!
What the heck is going on?
Hey, bro, get a life. What's up, Greg?
TikTok, I got beef with you.
He's being racial slurs too.
Yeah, I reported him. Just hopefully he gets quickly banned.
Nah, don't report him on here.
I will report him. What do you mean? He's being racist.
Nah, don't report him on here. If you report him on here, it's gonna affect her live, so you don't want to report anybody on here.
I didn't know that. Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a glitch thing going on. What's going on?
If you make me a moderator, I can get rid of him.
Jesus Christ.
I think you just gotta block him. Did you block him yet?
She did.
Yeah, I blocked him.
Try to unblock him and then block him again. You probably already had him
take
blocked.
off the I had to take off the auto request. So
Cause I done been in panels where like the host has blocked me, but I was already blocked previously before, so I was still able to come in there.
Not you getting blocked.
I like that you're going into lives of people that have blocked you. I respect that.
I didn't even know that they blocked me though. Like it was just their mutuals with like a lot of my friends. So when my friend came in there, I joined my friend, and then I realized I'm in their live, and they had me blocked, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
The weirdest thing is like when you go into a live and people know you. It's like I don't go live with people that much. Guess people just spread word.
Okay, I'm gonna go to J3484. What do you have for the topic of the room?
That's a heavy question. I mean, what has the Democratic Party done for America? They've done a lot. I mean, I don't agree with everything they stand for. But when it comes to my community, they've done a lot.
What is your community? Do you mind expounding?
Just minorities in general. The Republicans have shown us that they're not the party for minorities. They fearmonger. They present all these narratives as the Democratic Party is the devil, and while in all, it's just both of these parties have some. Mainly, the Republican Party is anti-minority. The Republican Party is for those who are white privileged in a certain economic class. They want to hold all the power. Things like even in my state of Mississippi, the Republican Party has been in control majority of my life, and Mississippi is last at everything. And if you look at the demographic of Mississippi, most of Mississippi is predominantly the ratios. There's a lot of African Americans in this state. So when you start talking about how the Democratic Party, what the Democratic Party has done for America, you also have to ask, what has the Republican Party done for America? Because when you look at it, if you look over the scale of things, they've been very detrimental to minorities. Things like stop and frisk have pretty much affected minorities in certain other states. When you talk about education, um, Donald Trump has gutted the Department of Education. When you talk about how it's affecting the environment, he's gutted. He's kind of rolled back the regulations on environmental issues. And when you look at environmental issues, and where do they put those industries? They put them in black neighborhoods, minority neighborhoods. So when you talk about and I'm landing my plane here, when you talk about what the Democratic Party has done for America, um, I'm speaking to my community because I can only speak for my community, not white community, not Asian community. It's been very detrimental to minorities. So the Democratic Party has done more than the Republican Party in my view. Um, I don't always agree with all their takes on sexuality things, but um, that's for another topic. But yeah, that's kind of my view on what the Democratic Party has done.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go to QI, and then I'm gonna go to Burgardy, and then y'all can have open discussion.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from Mississippi as well. And like he said, Mississippi has always been a Republican state. And basically, like he said, we're like 46% Black American Indians at that, but Black Americans. And basically what the Democrats have done is basically the Civil Rights Act is the biggest thing. 1964, 1965 Civil Rights Act, fair housing. They've created opportunities for Voting Rights Act. Like most of the services that we have that are for the public, the people as a whole, like Medicare, Medicaid, Affordable Health Care Act, and different things of that nature. That has come by way of the Democrats. Most of the Republicans are mostly about themselves. Like he said, therefore, the rich, pretty much, not the middle, not even so much the middle class, but for the rich. And, they don't put a lot into the only areas they might put a lot of funding or different things into, or are the rich areas and, not the poor. So like the Democrats really have done a lot. And besides that, like he said as well, the Republicans are basically like unaliving us or incarcerating us. They create more programs around, policing and different things of that nature that is a detriment to us. Just like if you look at the Carmelo Anthony case, where Texas is a Republican state, Arkansas, Tennessee, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, with Nolan Wells, and with the systemic racism and oppression. That's what the Republicans produce. And the Democrats, they just try to make a fair way for everybody. They try to make it where everybody, can pretty much make it. They're really more about the democracy. And there's no such thing as a perfect party. Even in our wildest dreams, I don't think it would be anything, any such thing as a perfect party. But pretty much politics is the way. A lot of people, I think I heard that brother talk about the conspiracy theories and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is not true. Our problem is people are always talking us out of doing what's right for us, like voting. We got to keep in mind that our ancestors lost their lives for us to have the ability to vote. And voting brought on the civil rights, and for a little while, we had some leeway until, the 80s when when it was the war on rugs, which was a detriment. But if you really look at it, we do better and we prosper better under the Democrats. And we have less of these, even in Mississippi. Like we didn't have a lot, we didn't have a lot of what's going on with the strange fruits and all that kind of stuff. like during the times like Democrats, it's only during the Republican times, especially when it's election time, that we see a lot of the strange fruits and the different things of that nature. And I think I'm gonna digress from there.
Thank you. And then I'm gonna go for Gelly, and then you guys can have open discussion for any rebuttals or anything that you heard.
What an amazing. Can you guys hear me? By the way.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Following up the cues thing, I really do agree with that sentiment. Right. Ancestors before us, people before us, paved the path forward, and we should use what we know and what they've given us to make the right decision. And that the right decision is the Democratic Party. Since like the 30s, they've given America Social Security, expanded welfare, and of course the Civil Rights Act, and many other things. Like when Biden came into office, the American Rescue Plan helped so many people recover post-COVID, especially my family. And what you look at when you look at the other side of politics, you see people completely consumed with sort of racialized grievances, feeling like they're being like left out of the pie because some brown people are coming into their neighborhood. It's like you see one side doing good things, and of course I will not acknowledge the history of bad things they've done, but it's like I'd rather take a movement of people trying to do good that fail than people who actively are seeking. Like, I'm from Minnesota. Like, they literally gave up in California with the metro surge, and then when they had the power to really when they had the opportunity to fully put pressure on a state like Minnesota, it resulted in a lot of barbarity, people's lives being taken, that being the case. So to me, the obvious answer between the two is that the Democratic Party and what they've done for America is pretty evident. And that's where I'll end it, I guess.
Okay, so I do hear like an overwhelming support when it comes to the Democratic Party from everyone, which I'm not going against. But I just wonder, are we choosing the Democratic Party because it feels safe to us to choose them? Or are we paying attention to specific policies when we have new candidates coming in? So are we paying attention to what the candidates are saying, what they're running on, and choosing according to the effective changes that we need in our country? Or are we just voting blue no matter who, like we've been told to do for so many generations?
I want to add on some history that I read up on. Actually, it was about 2 years ago. I was just trolling. It was on Facebook, I think. And it led me to learn about Barbara Johnson. Has anybody heard of her? Barbara Johnson. Barbara Johnson was doing the legislation to combat the immigration problem when Bill Clinton was in office. She had done research about the party of the Democrats with the immigration back when they was already against civil rights movement. They filibustered that. The Republicans is actually that got the civil rights to get into. And when they did get into a corner, the saying of this whole topic was they stabbed you in your back. They shake your hand. They got put in the corner. And right when they did shake their hands on the civil rights, they unleashed the immigrant or opened the border up, which the BLK was just getting into the market. And that's when it all started about lowball and jobs and things to compete with the BLK coming into the job market from the slavery, not the Jim Crow era and all that other stuff. And strangely, she got unalived right when she was pushing. If you look at the history, you see her speaking on it. It's a BLK woman under Bill Clinton that was pushing for to close the border and more legislations to do that. But strangely, she passed away, and right after she passed away, Bill Clinton opened the border right back up. So that's why I'm sitting here saying when they talk about civil rights movement, when you talk about the projects or welfare system was designed for the white tea, how did they graduate? And then after it was designed for them, after World War II, when they graduated out of the projects some kind of way. They set it up to where the white tea graduated from the hoods or the projects. Left behind to be okay to come in. That's when the Democrats opened that up with the welfare system. And at the end of the day, the BLK, even to this day, of generations is trapped into the projects. So it's a difference within it when people sit here and say civil rights movement and things. When you really look at it, the Democrats was against that.
I
The
don't.
Republicans,
Right. And I wanted to say that too. I wanted to agree with that. But
I
my fault. Keep
disagree.
going though. Carry on.
no, I'm good. I'm long winded, man. I'll just keep going saying the same
I
thing over.
disagree. It's a choice. Okay, when you say the projects, okay, yeah, some people like it's like this. If you have to live in the projects for a little while until you can get on your feet, then I have no problem with that. Do that. That's what it's designed for. Or if you fall on hard times and you just need it, I have no problem with that. The thing is like to build yourself up. I can clearly remember because I'm in my 50s. And I could clearly remember that, like basically, BOK people were moving up the charts. I mean, we were going to school, getting better jobs, and different things. And a lot of the immigrants were coming in here getting the jobs that, like we no longer want to do. Just like pretty much that's how they ended up taking over like the construction business. The difference is like with them, it's like they were more unified. So when it came down to owning construction companies, and which a lot of them started to do, because they basically like they would come here and live in one house, and go out, send money home, and save up here. Next thing you know, they got a nice truck and a big old house and things of that nature. And I think that that's what we stopped doing. Number one, it was the 80s rug era, because before that, a lot of BLK people, we had houses. I mean, BLK people were doing well when the rug era came in, which was a Republican era. When the rug era came in, that's when, people, a lot of people started going to jail. People would be putting their parents and stuff would be putting their homes up for their children. You had like, a lot of children and a lot of people were strung out. And that's when a lot of people went through a lot of, poverty. And, like we really we're just bouncing back a little bit from that. But, like still to this day, rugs are pretty much primary, like one of the biggest problems that, like we have, in our, not just our culture, but all cultures. But we can do the same thing. What you do is you buy some land, you save your money, you buy some land, you buy your home, like, because our parents did it, like most of our parents did, like before the 80s and stuff, before the rug industry, most of our parents had they had, invested in homes, they had homes and, different things. A lot of the next generation got passed down those homes, but, a lot of those neighborhoods went down. Because I could clearly say where I live, like a lot of the neighborhoods that were BLK prestigious neighborhoods, as soon as like a lot of their parents, passed on or whatever, they begin to, like park their cars in the grass on the yard, the neighborhoods declined and the value of those homes and stuff went down. So it's not all about, like the Democrats want to keep you in this place. Sometimes it has a lot to do with us as well and our choices, because I wish I was around for the rug era, and it was attractive. I can see why a lot of people did it, because they was making that quick money. And then I even heard some people, they invested in grocery stores and different things. But let's just look at it. Only a few people came out. A few people that went into that rug era actually came out okay. the majority of them went to, jail, or they, ended up, being, unalive. So only like I'm just saying it was just not like really worth it. It was like fast money, and it just wasn't really worth it. And I think that that's where we had like a big decline.
So,
But
Miss
my
QI, were you
question
the
is,
one that said that I had I was saying, were you the one that was saying that I had a conspiracy theory?
Are you the one that was saying presidents and stuff like that are selected and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, with the New World Order.
Yeah, yeah. I've been in the conscious community. I know about the conspiracies. Yes.
So how is it a conspiracy theory when Barack Obama made alphabetical community marriage a legal thing?
What's wrong with that?
What do you mean was wrong with it?
How does that affect you?
Well, what I'm saying is, my question was, how was it a conspiracy theory?
No, I'm
Because what
just
I was
saying.
saying was, how did it affect me?
Yeah,
Well,
how does that affect you?
for example, it was never when I was growing up, it wasn't okay to be considered to be a 304. It wasn't okay to, try to make yourself look more attractive for the public eye than the private eye of your significant other. Um, that was made okay by the alphabet community. Um, the alphabet community has misled a lot of these children into believing that they are the opposite of who they are, and they're confusing in themselves. So what I was saying was, whenever Barack Obama came in, it was his order to make sure that he legalized that, and at the same time legalizing by different ethnicities um, coming together and having marriage legally across the entire country. Because at first it was only legal in certain parts of the continent. He did that in order to distract everybody from the fact that he legalized alphabet community marriage,
Well, he did a
which
lot
was his
more.
agenda.
He did a lot more too. Like because of him, a lot of people got have insurance because he created the Affordable Health Care Act. I think we got two stimulus packages under Obama, like almost for no reason at all. It wasn't like we went through like any type of major thing or whatever. He just passed out two like stimuluses. I think for no reason. So he did a lot more than that in terms of LGBTQIA marriage. It's like um, I think that this is a democracy. So like really this country is about people living, being able to live free and people being able to be happy. So like I said, when you asked that, I was like, well, how does that bother you? And in terms of you were like, the LGBTQIA community basically taught a lot of children or whatever to be I can't say, maybe the media may have done it. Maybe the media may have a little part in that, but I can't necessarily say because it's a choice. Because if you're a parent, you talk to your child and different things like that. It's like to my, and I just think that it was because I just think that people have a right to be free. Because if it's in them, it's better that they can be free than to have to sneak around and ended up like, before that we had the war on AIDS.
So I feel like you
AIDS.
going around the question though, because I'm saying that you said it was a conspiracy theory, but I'm letting you know, how is it a conspiracy theory when it's already been proven?
Oh, I was talking about the presidents are selected or whatever. But in terms of in terms of that's what the constituents were asking for. They were asking for legalized marriages because a lot of people were together for a long time, and then when they pass on or whatever, they couldn't, leave their like they might like a couple might buy a house together. They made house together. It gave them the ability to maybe to like adopt some children or something from a foster care or whatever, you know. Um, and they just gave, and they could carry their spouse on their insurance and different things like that. So like I
So,
don't have a problem with that. It doesn't like what makes somebody else happy doesn't hurt me. I don't see like we have too
so you
many
don't
other
feel
things.
like B. Obama legalizing sissy marriage. So you don't feel like because it was illegal at first that people were less likely to do it.
They were doing it anyway,
But wasn't it like a frowned upon thing though? Like wasn't it more?
which is wrong. It's
It was
wrong.
more frowned upon to be a 304. It was more frowned upon to be a sissy or a
So
punk.
you're what I'm hearing, what
Mm.
I'm hearing you say is that's your personal, you don't care for it. You don't care for that lifestyle, which you have a right. No problem. You got a right to that, but just like you don't care for it, like people have a right to live their own lives. Like there's a lot of stuff that you do that people don't care for. And as long as it's not hurting someone else and it's your personal choice, you should have a right to do that. So I don't
So
have I
let me
want
ask you, can I ask you a question about something like I understand with y'all conversation about that. I really it's like in the middle of that. Obama did play some points, but let me ask you this: if where would we be at if the Republicans didn't push for the civil rights movement? Because I think people don't have that knowledge about
right.
Democrats filibustering it 3 times. What would have happened if it didn't go through? If the Republicans wouldn't intervene and the Democrats, where would the BLK be? And I don't think a lot of BLK don't know about that. Who really got the civil rights movement pushed through? Because Democrats, if you do the history, they did not want that. So that means they wanted Willie Lynch to keep going. They wanted the apartheid, all that stuff to
Do
keep
you
going.
know? Do you know who orchestrated the Civil Rights Act?
So,
The 1964 Civil Rights
I know
Act
what you're
was
talking
by
about.
who?
I'm trying to
Dr.
think.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, but no, there's some more
Doc,
players, people played the part in that too.
I mean, yeah, like the whole civil rights movement and the whole, but that was Dr. Martin Luther King's 1964, and that happened right before he was unalive. But that's Martin Luther King. That was all Democrat. That was all Democrat. And basically, when you talk about the Republicans now, that's what's on the table. They're trying to take away the Civil Rights Act. They're
But
also trying to take away our right to
Martin Luther,
vote.
hold on, Martin Luther King wasn't a politician.
No, he
No,
wasn't.
he was a civil rights
Right.
activist,
Yeah, but
but
he
he,
wasn't a politician, so you can't say that he is the Democrats Party is
Or the
Martin Luther
Republican.
King or the Republican.
Yeah.
He's an individual person. He wasn't a politician. So
yeah, but
we
And
kind of really can't give that to the Democrats Party. Give Martin Luther King to the Democrat Party because he wasn't a politician.
then your
he
boy
wasn't a
Joe Biden.
politician. But the civil rights was
Then,
definitely Democrat. He was civil rights was definitely Democrat. And I know what y'all are saying. Like him alone didn't do it. It was like the civil rights movement, which included all of our ancestors. They had to vote for it. They had to put it in place. He was a big part of fighting for our voting rights that we're
but
about
do
to
you
lose now.
understand? But do you understand the question though? The question is they filibustered it when it was trying to go through the legislations. They Democrats was trying to stop that. They filibustered it 3 times. So the question is, if you seeing like you're trying to throw in more leaders or things like that, like Martin Luther King, but on the political side, which later on Joe Biden was calling us animals and things. So what would have happened
They're eating it.
if that who pushed that? Who if you recognize that the Republicans pushed for it and the Democrats, that's what I don't understand with the people today. If they it's like people can change, but I still think you still got a grain of salt in you, like something. It's like I can't really describe it, but to that direct question, what do you feel about Republicans pushing for civil rights and Democrats was going against that on paper, legislation,
I don't.
political?
Now this is
Okay.
facts too because I did Google it. Well, I'm not gonna say that I Googled it, but I did do my research on it. It said when I did my research that the Republican Party was pushing for the freedom and more opportunities for the minorities rather than, you know, enacting like how the Democrats, they actually was pushing for the Jim Crow and other laws to oppress us in the night. I think it
So
was the 1850s
Oh
or the
man,
yeah,
the eight.
1980s or something.
Okay, now I
but
see. In the
yeah.
1850s, the you talking about the Dixiecrats. Now the Dixiecrats, that's what y'all. When people say that the Republican, we like the black people, BLKs used to be Republican. They're talking about when the Democrats were basically the Dixiecrats or whatever, or when it was the Dixiecrats. So you're talking about, so that's a whole different, like, so what we look at
No, I'm
now.
talking about 1964.
Yeah,
1964,
it was
civil rights.
from 1850 to the 1960s, 1980s.
Yeah,
It started
and
in the
yeah,
1850s.
Okay, well,
like
I
almost
don't.
150
Well,
years.
I'm gonna put it this way. Okay, this is how I'm gonna put it. Apparent, like that's to my knowledge. I don't. I have to do some research on that. But I definitely know that Martin Luther King pushed forth the Civil Rights Act, and this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know if you heard about Project 2025, which is a Republican thing all the way, and and basically that's Jim Crow 2.0, where basically now the Republicans are trying to take away our Civil Rights Act. Now the Republicans are trying to take away our voting. They're doing it a little bit at a time. They're gerrymandering. They've already taken away the I can't say that word, so I was trying to find a word. But slowly but surely, they're taking away a little bit of our rights at a time, and it's all up under the Project 2025, which is like a heritage act for the Republicans. So y'all need to check that out, because like it's like like whatever they did in the past, that's the past. Right now, I can't really worry too much about back then. What I'm worried about, like she said, are we paying attention to policy? I'm most definitely paying attention to policy. And the biggest policy that I have in mind and why I'm speaking so hard about this is because of Project 2025. And a lot of people don't know about that.
But this is my thing. I got you on that. I got you all the way up to now. When I'm sitting here saying like that knowledge, like it feels good for you to say you answered that correct. I'm gonna do more research. Just to blow your mind, because I can see that you locked in, or maybe hopefully I'll be open your mind up to say, well, I'm gonna do some research, and I'm gonna forewarn you, it will blow your mind of what the Democrats was doing. Now, not to say Republicans ain't got no race cards in the game either, but when you jump to Project 25, that's what the other gentleman was talking about. That been going on to when they unalived Kennedy.
No,
Kennedy
no,
was trying
Project
to.
2025 is
Well,
something
hold
that was
on, wait a
enacted
minute.
in
Project 25
2025.
is a part of the New World or the NWO. That's a part of that. That's been a whole sequence. We just playing the parts of, and you living through parts of that. But it been in active since Kennedy. And Kennedy didn't want it, and that's why they did away with him. And it's just a long history that's at the end. They plan people to play attention to Project 25 at the same time they doing NWO. And that's the bigger picture. That's the small picture, what you're talking about, the Project 25. All the presidents are in there. The ones that's against it, they got unalive. Kennedy was the last one. So if you look into NWO conspiracy, you will see Project 25 and more futuristic things that we would not agree with to what this government is leading up with. They are actually in NWO is going to do away with Republicans and Democrats anyhow. But the problem with that, the
Right.
people would be able to design this government. They already
Well,
got
that's what
plans.
Trump. That's what Trump is
Trump
trying
ain't
to
got
do.
nothing
Trump
to
is
do
trying
with
to be
that.
a
That's the
dictator, and
problem.
that's why he wants a race war.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem. People focusing on something that you thinking that's just starting to happen because of Trump. Just being in action.
Right.
But
Just being
I'm
going on.
not for it though. I'm not for it, so I'm not
Nobody will
definitely not
be.
going to vote Republican.
Yeah, I understand that. I respect that. But what I'm saying, like, just do the history on this from I would say like the 30s to the 64, and you will see who supported to give rights and things of the civil rights to the BLK. And then the Democrats got mad, and that's when I told you that they did the Barbara Johnson and flooded like they doing again now with the buses and things. They
Wait,
did
why
that with
stop
Georgia.
there? Why stop there?
Yeah, they just
Like,
keep going.
because right after they passed the Civil Rights Act, then right after that they passed the Voting Rights Act, then right after that they passed the Fair
Mm-hmm.
Housing Act, then right
Fair
after that
house.
they
Yep.
passed the Higher Education Act. Like
Right.
the time frame that you gave stops conveniently before they passed all of these things specifically to benefit Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
And if we
Wait a
don't
minute.
start
Let me
if
ask
we
you.
don't start voting more to the better of our interests, which is not the Republican Party and their NWO movement that you're saying, if we don't vote against that, and if we don't start participating more, like we need more people to run for office. We need more people like we need to, like you were talking about projects and jobs, or somebody was talking about projects and jobs. I've been asking a long time, like we need to build. We had a few black corporations. I think we had like Johnson and Johnson. We had BET, but most of them have sold, and we've never, we didn't keep going. We got to stop being in a like. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to build us up. I'm trying to say that it's a mentality. We have like we got this defeated mentality, and basically we don't
Can I
realize
ask you a
that.
question?
Oh yeah, let me just land my plane on this. We got a
Hmm.
defeated mentality to a certain degree, and basically, like the Republicans, they feed off of that. A lot of the stuff that the stuff conspiracies and stuff, they feed to us. They're the ones that's putting it out there because they know we'll believe anything instead of looking at things more critically. And basically that's because they want to stay in power and control. And then you got to look at it, AI and all these different things that are coming about. They don't need us anymore. And basically it's like they want a race war so Trump could be a dictator. And that'll also give them a reason to wipe a lot of us out of the population, because we're only 13%. But go
No,
ahead,
that's
Brandon.
So
what
can
you
I
said.
ask you this question?
Hmm.
Are you scared?
Scared of what?
Are you scared?
Scared of what?
You say they're gonna wipe out the population and whatnot, and you not for us going. You're not for us going with the NWO, but you saying that we need representatives to work for the NWO, as if that's gonna change anything. We need to take over this government that was meant to govern our
Oh,
mentality. You see what I'm saying? Which with the democracy,
allegedly,
the
allegedly.
democracy was
Hold on, NFL. Hold on. I get where you're going. I want to pause it. I don't want my live to get taken down. I'm gonna go to Chandelier and then the Indigenous, and then we can go back to group discussion.
Sure. Just to answer the prompt, they've done a lot of things for America. I mean, I named a bunch from before, but like just to reiterate: Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, Fair Housing Act, Higher Education Act, Dodd-Frank Act, State Small Business Credit Initiative expansion plan. Like they've done a lot to help specifically. Um, I don't really understand the like connotation that they haven't done anything, considering that like once you start naming things, people just like kind of forget that that's what actually happened. But they've done a lot, so that's all I'll say.
And then I'm going to the Indigenous, and then we can go back to group discussion. The Indigenous, are you there? The Indigenous American? I can't even take you off your mic.
He's teacup, so he's not even on the app.
All right. Well, when you in the Indigenous American, when you are back, you can join the conversation. I'm not anti-government. I just want to say that I'm not anti-government. I'm not anti this. You got to be careful what you talk about or what you say, especially in certain spaces.
Yes, and that's why I'm holding my tongue on what's in this time. I would give you a hint. 2019, the movement has already started. It's like we so far behind on the 8 ball. I can't get into the details of it because I really don't want your life taken down because they so sensitive on it. The truth. is coming out of the awakening. And both, I feel that's why I said at the beginning I'm independent. Really, I ain't. I'm disgusted with both parties, really, because I feel like America was. It ain't no greatness in America, but we went to the left somewhere, and I know what caused it. When I think it was, I forgot what year it was when they opened the expansion of everybody can be
Hold on,
billionaires and
sorry.
things of that.
I apologize, QI. You were reported, so I did have to take you down, but feel free to come grab a mic again.
But yeah, I was just saying that just to get people to recognize, I can't stand. I don't understand people that's locked in on a party. The history shows me that we went left somewhere, and the carrot that was hanging on the string is greed. That's the problem. When they allowed everybody, I forgot what year that was when they expanded, where everybody can be a billionaires, and now we got trillionaires. Greed came in. Apex came in. What that is what really makes the decision that gentleman was talking about. Money rules capitalism, and is the ruler of capitalism. So we made this left, and both parties, if we ever get to do serious investigation, I believe all the way down to the shit. It's in my city council. In my city council, the mayors and our mayor is all corrupted for years, decades. So I tell people, if you want to be a wealthy person, be a politician. Get into politician if you really want to make some money. Off of it, really, you're just stealing other people's money. And so that's why I feel like the NWO is coming up with it. Before things happen, you got to agree with it. And I'm one that is agreeing to demolish both parties. But I don't agree with they are going to design the new government. And it's supposed to be one government. I would rather for the people of the world or even a country to design what parties need to come up, because these two parties here are so far gone on corruption. It's sad. And you got people that's locked in on parties, but both of them is corrupted. And that's a fact. That is a serious fact. If you don't know all the way down to your city council, shit, dude, the police chief, everything is money now. Greed. It is literally greed now. It's no caring about it. People sit here and say, "Oh, my party, Democrats care about us." Well, why you got people that's Democrats in Congress and senators making extra money on the side by doing illegal things
So
that we don't even know about?
I want to just jump in here and reset the room really quickly. I do have understanding. Just I try to take the mystical sense out of some of these. I don't want to say theory. Well, I'll say theories or different versions of the research people do on politics. So what my understanding of the way that the government works is that there are policies that are initiated when we have candidates run. They choose from the policies in which they're already initiated to what they're going to push during their time in office. And so just like we saw with the initiation of the amendment to birthright citizenship in the Constitution, we saw that it was initiated during Barack Obama's candidacy, and then now in action during Trump's candidacy. That's as far as the extent that I can say where I understand this NWO concept, right? But my thing is, I try to get people out of this, because after a while, I feel like when we start going so deep into the rabbit hole, we start to feel like we are out of control of what we can participate in or how we can flow things. I've been paying attention. If you pay attention a lot of times to these politicians long enough, a lot of times they choose to run or choose to have their speeches based off what we talk about and we tell them is the issue, right? That's how they're able to gain our attention for us to help them win their popularity contest. And so while we're on the internet right now, we're sitting here saying, well, we want this and we want that. We'll see in the coming election, we're going to have different politicians start to address these concerns that we've been talking about over the past election. Everything that we have an issue with Trump doing, we're going to see the next president say, or the next candidate talk about how they're going to do the opposite, right? So we do have some control. Even our opinion has control, and even our dollar has control too, when it comes to lobbying and things like that. If we want to really make the change, we can step in to make that change. Yes, it's going to take money. It's going to take fundraising. It's going to take galvanizing. It's going to take lobbying. It's going to take us talking to our representatives, pushing for the bills that we want to. I feel like if these companies can go and talk to the different representatives in order to get bills passed to make it so they can have leeway in their business practices, the common person can do it, just like these organizations can do it. These 50c3s that we choose to give our money to or donate to or depend on can do it as well. I try to not discourage people, even though we see that there's a bigger plan at hand and that both parties work together. I feel like at some point there gets to be a bit of a fear mongering that we don't have power over which side we choose because they're going to work together. Ideally, they should work together. If they are not working together, we're not going to get any bills passed. So we should not want the Democratic and the Republican Party to constantly be fighting in the Senate. We should not want them to always go against each other, because when we have bills and policies that are going to affect the common day-to-day American people, we need votes for both sides. So I think a lot of times when people get deep into these understandings on how the government works, they're still from the standpoint of feeling like they have to pick a side on whether they're choosing blue or red, instead of thinking about the betterment of our country at the end of it all. And so feel free to come grab a mic. I definitely just want to have an open conversation about, I'm picking one party because I do see them starting to pop out and start to have conversations on their agendas. And I just want to make sure as American people, we're paying attention to policies and we're not paying attention to what makes us comfortable or popularity. Because a lot of times, especially after we finish a Democratic Party representative, we just running vote blue no matter who, and not looking at what are they talking about, how is this going to affect us, and whether we're going to choose to vote blue out of fear or we're choosing to vote blue out of the betterment of our country as a whole.
Just
Go ahead.
something that I want to rebuttal to you all. Yeah, thank you for doing that, because I do. I even reflect on sometimes. A lot of people get me optimistic, but I just let's say, for example, what I'm trying to get people to understand is built on the Capitol, the apex. Just like when they said this was crazy to me. Yeah, I was leaning. I got my reasons, personal reasons, that I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I can go into detail about that, but that's not my main point. I've even got over $1,000 betted among my family that in 2028 there is going to be a woman president, and it's going to be a Democrat. I got over $1,000 bet. I lost one bet since the 80s. This is how systematic things are. And it happened with Al Gore too. That I was betting winning like $100 here when people are so embedded with like, oh, Democrats going to win, Republicans going to win. I just be like, well, the sequence is 8 years. That's the sequence. And they used to be rebirth. They were like, nah, man, I guarantee you the way the economy messed up or whatever. I said, well, bet me. I said, guarantee you it's going to be the same president. They're going to win again. And that broke. I lost that bet when Trump got against with Joe. That's when and it happened before. But other than that, it was hundreds of years of the same sequence. It's a sequence to it. When I sit back and look at when people sit here and say, well, do you regret your vote? Well, I was like, no, because I don't look at it like Kamala Harris. I don't want to make this about that, but I don't feel like we wouldn't have been in no better situation in it. I can be biased on it. She's married to a Jew. Bibi, when I started digging into this, I'm talking about digging into it. I was like, this would have happened regardless of whoever, because they own the United States. And then when I found out BB graduated from a high school in Philadelphia, I was like, oh my God. He graduated from in United States in Philadelphia. I forgot what school it was. And I just kept digging and digging. I'm sitting there like, this a whole plot. Then when you look at the Greater Israel plan, I don't see Kamala Harris wouldn't have stopped that. I don't see Trump. I really thought Trump would stop because his characteristics and personality. That's something that I do. But when I reflect the comparison, I don't think she would have stopped that because they had the chance. It wasn't her fault, but Joe. BB came here, flew past the White House, went straight to the Congress. That's when I knew he owned the United States. He didn't show no respect to Joe Biden. Any foreign leaders come here, they got to stop by. They're supposed to show some type of respect. Go to your president of this country and be like, hey, I'm here. You know, BB didn't do none of that. Did Joe stop the genocide? No. That was the first phase of this. The first phase. Then I don't read up on after Iran, it's a third phase. That's going to be under Democrat Party in 28. That's when phase 3 starts. So when people get caught up in this, it's just book knowledge and prophecies that is going to happen, that's happening, but they plan people to be like, oh, Democrats doing this, Republicans allowing this, Democrats allowing that. No, like you said, it's all the same body, but they just playing people with their mind to get things while they moving things forward. This is a phase 3 coming up in 2028. You're going to see. And it's going to happen under Democrats, and it's going to be Republicans whining and crying like, oh, Lord. And then you're going to get all these panels. That's why I'm glad that you did a universal thing and you put this up as a Democrat party. And then you need to go to Republican parties. That's just my advice. But after the Democrats get in office in 28, all these panels they'll turn into the talking junk about what the Democrats doing from day one. The same as they doing Trump. The electoral votes need to be demolished. It was out of study on that. Why did it come up? It was problems before that. But from what the futuristics of the electoral votes doing, people thinking, like the gentleman said, it really your vote ain't really counting. It goes down to your state representative of the electoral votes that you need to get into. Not no popular vote, because Hillary Clinton won and I feel like Kamala Harris won a popular vote. That's what your vote is. That don't get them in office. But I was on the panel yesterday, they were talking about why MAGA is so emotional. And I try to unify things. I'm sitting here like, all of y'all is emotionally attached to a point to where I'm going to get dropped, I'm going to get cut off. I can't express what I'm trying to say. You whooping and hollering. And I appreciate your lives and giving the decency of people, allowing people to talk. And like I said, I'm long-winded sometimes, and all the time, really. But it just amazes me how they playing people. I watch all these panels turn in 28. And I guarantee, I pay anybody want to bet me, Democrats are going to win in 28. Are they going to win? And I feel like it's going to work.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel it coming. I feel like this is just my opinion. That's why I keep saying I feel like I'm grateful that we had Trump in office. Especially, I was feeling unsafe during the Democrats. I know most people start feeling like super comfortable when the Democrats in office, but I'm like, y'all got Joe Biden out here looking sick. We don't look like a strong country. I'm not feeling too comfortable right now. Y'all got these balloon crabs coming over, and they saying it's Chinese balloons. I'm like, what is going on? We got bricks building up behind the scenes. We got the rise in tariffs from foreign countries. Like, we getting extorted. You got the president of Ukraine putting videos on social media saying that Joe Biden better hurry up and send the money over. I just felt like, wait, what's going on to our country? Like, then every time we see our president, he looks sick. We needed a strong body president to come in and put their foot down, that sometimes we need a bodyguard. And I feel like Trump does a good job of shaking things up, checking people, putting people into place. And where we are now, I feel like we're a little bit more stabilized. We can have a more fun president in the next election. My only thing is, like, I don't need the people going to sleep. I think that's my only thing, because people get comfortable. When only time you see people really questioning the government and paying attention to policies is when they feel uncomfortable with who the president is. So they feel like whenever Trump is in office, people start questioning things, start looking into policies, start paying attention to what Trump is doing. Whenever we get a Democrat in office, everyone is laissez-faire. We feel good. We feel safe. We know that the Democratic Party is going to do the right thing for us. But that might not always be the case. I feel like as American people, I try to hold American people accountable. As far as if we're going to hold Donald Trump's feet to the fire, we need to do the same thing for Kamala Harris. We need to do the same thing for AOC. If they end up in office, that's a pair duo, like the rumors have it. If we have Gavin Newsom in office, we need to hold him accountable. We still need to hold our presidents accountable or pay attention to what it is that they're doing, no matter who's in office. I really dislike this whole idea that we need to vote blue no matter who because it's safe. And another thing that I kind of have a disdain for this conversation is I feel like American people are giving too much to the Democratic Party. I've heard somebody say that the civil rights movement was because of the Democratic Party. There's somebody in the comments saying that vaccines were given to us by the Democratic Party. Not the Department of Health, the Democratic Party. Controls on car emissions, student loans. Yeah, we're giving too much to the Democratic Party. Not everything that good that benefits you comes from the Democratic Party itself. That's not how the government works, okay? Department of Education is not of the Democrat. I'm confused. I feel like we just give everything to one party just because it makes us feel good, because they are the good guys in our eyes, and so we give everything to them. I'm a little stuck on the person saying that the civil rights movement was because of the Democratic Party, because of Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King was never a politician. And he didn't run for office, and he wasn't on any side of the party. He was an activist for the Black American community, and went to whoever he was supposed to get his bills passed, which is how you're supposed to be as an American, which is why he was able to make effective change in this country, and one of the only people to make effective change in this country, because he had an agenda. And he went to whoever he could to get his agenda passed. He wasn't swaying on one party or the other. He had a goal, and he went to go get his goal achieved, which is why Martin Luther King is who he is. He is not a Democrat. He is not, I don't know what party he swings on, to be quite honest with you, but I think that we give too much to the Democratic Party instead of paying attention to what actually they have done. So 2 reoccurring things that I've heard today while having this live is that the Democratic Party created the Affordable Care Act, and the Democratic Party made the Respectable Marriage Act, and legalizing the equal opportunity marriages. And so that's what I have today. Those are the 2 things that people have came up, either said it in the comments or said it on the stage. 2 things that the Democratic Party has effectively done for the American people. It's not enough. It's not enough to sit here and keep voting blue no matter who, okay? If y'all do have some more, I'll keep the live on for about a couple more minutes, but I am going to close this live pretty soon. But to me, it's not enough to just blindly vote for a party, okay? Now, I'm not telling anybody here that everybody has to vote Republican because the Democrats didn't do anything. No, I'm saying we need to pay attention to what whoever we choose to elect does, and we make sure that we're voting on policies and we're actually holding our politicians accountable to fulfill those policies, not just this blindly. We have to, in order to stay safe, we have to vote blue no matter who. I don't know anyone who was harmed. I wasn't personally harmed by Republicans being in office. No one in my family was personally harmed by Republicans being in office. There is no threat to anyone on my day-to-day. Life doesn't change just because a Republican is in office. We got to stop this fear as far as our politics, and really start paying attention to what's going on in our country. Hi, Carl Little. What do you have for the topic? Okay, so I am gonna get ready to close out the live. If anyone has any final remarks before I close out this live, feel free to come grab a mic. Thank you to all my guests that came in and added to the conversation. Without you all, this conversation wouldn't have been as fulfilling as it was. I definitely think I gained a lot of insight. And I'm open to have some more conversations. I think I might do another conversation on what has the Republican Party done for America next. So follow me. Make sure you have your notifications on for when I go live, so that we can really get down to it, and continue to have conversations on what policies we would like to pay attention to, so that I feel like the best bet is for us to figure out what it is that we would want or we need change in our country, start speaking out about it, and then watch and see who picks them up. That puts us into more control on who we choose to elect as our president, or who we choose to elect in our local politics. Just because you understand the bigger plan at hand doesn't mean you can't play the part. I think that anybody who understands the bigger plan at hand should be able to play the parts effectively. If you understand the game, why haven't you been playing the game? There is no excuse for not voting. There is no excuse for stepping out of the game, because in the same breath we'll be upset that too many taxes are getting taken out of our check, but we also didn't vote in our local election, or we didn't vote in our state level election, we didn't vote in our federal election, but we're complaining about minimum wage. You can't do two things at the same time. You have to choose to at least participate or talk to your representative, or have those conversations. Either have the conversations with your representatives, or vote accordingly to people who are going to focus on the policies that you want to get done. But to sit back and vote and to not vote and then complain is not very American of us. We live in a democratic republic. We do have some type of control. I won't say control, but we have a say-so. If you could we have freedom of speech. We can talk about our grievances. Don't think that a public servant is not paying attention. Public servants can't block you on social media. Public servants can't ignore you. You can go and walk up to a public servant in public, and it is their job to listen to you, to listen to your grievances, because they work for you. Okay, so keep that in mind. They work for us. Until next time, y'all, have a great